Oh, wow. Ooh. Hello, my name is Derron and I'm an addict. Man, yeah, I'm nervous. I'm always nervous, man. And this isn't like my first time doing this. And it just never gets easy. It's just the process, man. I love it. But can anybody that's willing to join me in the serenity prayer to allow our higher powers to come together for me to get out of the way and us to get the message that we all deserve. God, grant me serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference just for today. Thank you. All right, my name is Derron and I'm an addict, like I said. Um, so I'm not that guy that's gonna sit up here and like talk about like all the dope I did, all the girls I pimped, all the stupid shit I did in the streets. Like, I'm not gonna talk about like how I'm a victim and blah blah blah. But I'm gonna explain to y'all exactly like how the disease of addiction worked in my life because that's all I have to give is my strength, hope, and inspiration. When I open my basic text, I have this writing that says, "Work the program, don't preach the program," because that's very important for me. Because like I remember at a point where I was like really like a NA book thumper. Like if you wasn't in it, I wasn't trying to mess with you, and I was trying to tell you what you should do or what you shouldn't do. Um, and I have 3.5 years clean. My clean date is March 13th, 2020, by the way, man. By the grace of God, man, at NA. And somebody just shared, man, he said, I'm a newcomer. Man, I'm still a newcomer. Like, I still feel fresh. Like, I'm like not even, like, I'm just getting in the pool, man. I'm just like getting my feet wet. Like, what's going on here? It's a beautiful process, though, because I get to continue to learn and grow in this process. Such a beautiful thing. Man, so I'm from Ohio, and this is my first time here. Like, I remember I came to Pittsburgh one time, and I can tell you, I don't remember not a single thing about it except for it was a bunch of hills. That's the only thing I remember, man. Like everything else was a blur. I'm like, dude, what? We're in Pittsburgh already? What? Oh, we're leaving. We're going back to Ohio. Okay, let's go. Where the girls at? What's going on? Like, blah blah blah. Like, where's the drugs? I need them. Like, oh, we got it. Oh, here, around. Okay, let's go. Follow along and stuff, man. It's sad, man. But like, I was driving in, and I was like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. Like, it's really beautiful, man. It's really nicely constructed. I was just enamored because I was like, man, I've never seen this place before, and it's such a beauty to be able to see this clean, experience this clean. Like, I get to experience things today, and that's what the thing is, man. I woke up today, man, in a really good mood, man, because before I even touch my feet to the floor, man, I say, God, HP, take over my will and my life, man. Show me how to live because I don't know how to live without you. And I don't know how to live without Narcotics Anonymous. All I know is that I need both of y'all in my life in order for me to thrive and get on with this thing, man. Because I was caught up in that stupid stuff, man. I was caught up in that, the mind games I play on myself. And this is nerve. So I'm gonna start at the beginning because don't none of y'all know me. The only thing we know about each other is that we all identify as addicts. When we come in this room, we all share one common bond. We're all seeking recovery. We're all seeking another day clean. We're all seeking to bond together and to show each other how we should live, man. Um, so I was born to two parents that are addicts, man. My mother and my father, man. My dad, he works another fellowship. I love him to death. My mother is no longer here. Um, so growing up, I was very spoiled, entitled. I got everything. My parents were addicts, but like some way God just saw fit the shoes, the clothes, the toys, like everything I wanted. Like it was always at my feet in my disposal. So my family on my mother's side, they would always call me the chosen one. Like I'm supposed to be the one to guide them. I'm the all powerful what, like everything. Man, that put a lot of weight on the kid, man. Like I don't think any kid, like people say, it's a thin line. Kids that get abused have it hard, and kids that have too much have it hard as well. It's two different spectrums, but it's the same thing because it teaches us it taught me that I was above everything and everybody else. It showed me that like I didn't have to work for anything. That like the world owed me everything. Um, and it's a tragedy that I think about it now, man, because like I didn't. It's messed up that I used and abused everybody. I bent everybody at my will. I manipulated everybody that came in my life. I sure as hell didn't care about me. So what made you think I cared about you? It's crazy how like even being a young man, like the disease of addiction was running rampant in me. Um, so I remember it's like 4 or 5, and we were living with these girls, these 4 girls, these 4 sisters, and they used to like touch me all the time and like do stuff with me, and like not until I got into recovery did I actually think that there was something wrong with that, because now I see like the what it did to my psyche about sex, and like how my sexual drive is like out of control sometimes, and I live in lustful ways sometimes, and it's a painful thing because like I want to be able to love properly. I'm married. Like I want to be able to love my wife properly. I don't want to overly lust after her, or I don't want to just look at a woman and be like, "Oh God, I gotta have her. Like let's get it." Like I like that's not. And I'm not normal, but like that's not cool. It's not okay with me to feel that way. To like have to like, okay, I gotta put on the blanket, but I gotta see her. Like it, and I'm just talking about me. Like it's not okay with me. So this is something that the steps have allowed me to work on a little bit. I'm going to jump around a lot because that's just the type of addict I am. Like I can't stay focused on one thing. It's kind of hard. So just bear with me. We will get the message that our higher power wants us to get. So that played a lot on my psyche growing up, man. And it really did something to me that I'm still examining because like I'm just now starting to talk about it. You guys are like the first group that I've shared this with. The only other person that knows about this is my sponsor. My family didn't even know about this. So like I'm just my HP is telling me to put it out there because I need to start healing from this, and maybe it'll make a better day to where one day I won't be so lustful and I won't get so like controlling when I don't get the in the pants or whatever, like it'll help me in some way, shape, or form, or it might help somebody else so they can help me later on because that's what we do in here. So um, I remember we moved out of there, man, and I wound up moving to California with my grandparents because my mom's addiction got so bad that like she couldn't take care of me, and she gave me to my grandparents. And my grandmother told me that she actually called me while I was on my way here. It's funny, but she told me that she had called one time and she had asked to speak to my mother, and I was like, my mommy's not here, and she was like, where's she at? I was like, she's sick, so she can't talk to you right now. She said at a very young age I knew about addiction, but I didn't understand what it really was. From a young age, I did understand that it was a disease, that it was a sickness that somebody. But like I said, until I came into to Narcotics Anonymous, I really didn't understand that. This was just something that I might have heard, or something that I might have felt, or something that the HP put on me because I am a very spiritual person. Mm. So I moved to California with my grandparents, man, and I learned all kind of stuff from hanging out with my granddad, man, how to play basketball. And I remember going to the local park, man, all the time with my granddad because he was a big basketball player. And sometimes I would just read my Bible, man. And I remember like I got really big into religion at a very young age. Um, and I would read the Bible to people at the park, and like people would listen to me. It's so crazy that like people would listen to this 5, 6 year old kid reading the Bible, because I was so enthusiastic about it, man. And I used to have this armor, and I was like, I'm a warrior of God. Like nothing can penetrate this armor, and man. So um, my mom wind up having another kid, man, my little sister, and I wind up asking could I move back to Ohio so I could help my mom take care of my sister. Um, and my grandparents allowed me to move back after we prayed about it a little bit. And I remember coming back to Ohio and being a new kid on the block. And I remember feeling out of place, just feeling out of place because like I didn't know any of these people. I didn't grow up like them. And I still was a spoiled ass little brat that thought that everything was owed to me, man. And these kids showed me that like I wasn't shit, man. And they beat me up for like the first 4 months, man. I got jumped every fucking day, man. Until I found my first addiction, fighting, that anger, living in it, relishing it, taking it out on everybody and anything. See, my addiction didn't start when I started getting high. My addiction started when I started fighting. And it sparked something in my brain. Ooh, this feels fucking great. Ooh, it feels so good. I don't have to deal with my pain. I could just hurt them and make the world feel my pain. Man, is that some distorted ass thinking? I'm gonna make the world feel my pain. And I thought that until I got clean this time around. So I thought that for like 30 something years of my life, man. Is I'm gonna make the world feel my pain. That's crazy. Man. Um, so I fell in love with fighting. The first time I used any mind and mood altering substance, I was 9 years old. I smoked marijuana because I hung out with all the older kids thinking I was cool. I wanted to be a gangbanger because I was a fighter and they loved me because I could fight and like I could protect and do whatever in the neighborhood. They could just be like, hey, Derron, go fight that kid. Okay, let's do it. It's fun. Um, and that's just what it was, man. And so I wanted to impress these kids because they were older, man, 16, 17 years old. I'm like, you guys are cool. Like, I'm glad that you guys want to hang out with me, man. That's cool. So I started doing what they was doing. Um, my mother's addiction was really bad. Again, man, she wound up going to prison, and I wound up raising me and my little sister, man. Again, I was still spoiled. My family still had this like covering over me. They still protected me. My mother was an addict, but that's what was going on is that my family would always run to the rescue and rescue. So nobody had to grow up except for Derron. I had to do things that I shouldn't have had to do at the age of 9, 10, and 11. I wound up going to a school for really smart kids when I was in sixth grade, and my mother's addiction had got so bad that like I wound up failing. And I had just met my real father, and like I remember he whooped me because I got all F's on my report card, and I'm thinking like this sucks, but I like this pain. Like what is this new feeling? Because I had never really had my ass whooped, so I'm like, what is this feeling? This is weird. Like, and my crazy ass likes this shit. So we wound up moving in with my grandma, and in the state of Ohio, at the age of 12, you could decide who you want to live with if you're in the system. So I was like, I want to go live with my dad. I want to see what this is. So I go move in with my dad, and you know, wrong, right, and different. It doesn't matter. This isn't his story, but this is a part of my story and what I felt is that my dad whooped me. He abused me. He hurt me. But I also relished in that shit. I also loved it because it was a familiar pain that the basic text talks about. We thrive in that familiar pain. We think I craved that familiar pain. It was okay. And then I could use it to play people, to manipulate people into doing what I needed them to do for me. My dad beats me. Help me. Do this for me. Grandma, buy me these shoes. My dad beat my ass. Grandma, buy me this video game system. My dad hurt me. See the manipulation that's going on throughout my life? It happens. So I remember my mother coming to me before I moved in with my dad saying, Derron, I love you so much. I'm like, dude, you don't love me. Go get high. Go do something. Like, get away from me. You don't care about me. That set my mother on the path of recovery. As harsh as that was, it set her on the path of recovery, and she moved out to California with my grandparents and got her life together. Thank God. So I go all throughout high. I started doing sports to impress my dad. I really just wanted to get close to him, even though the abuse was going on, even though he was still hurting me. And I was doing things to hurt myself too. See, this is what I didn't tell people. I had a steel chair in my room and I used to hit myself over the head with it constantly, repeatedly, because I love that pain. How sick is that? I think about this shit and I think about how like ridiculously insane my mind was. How much I thought the pain made me thrive. How much I thought that it made me what I was, how ingrained in me that it was. I didn't want to live without that pain. It's just like an act of addiction when I was getting high. Like I didn't want to live without that drug because it gave me that familiar pain. It kept feeding that. It kept feeding that and feeding that. So I wanted more and I wanted more and I wanted more. And I thought I could control it until I couldn't control it no more. Only in desperation did we ask ourselves, could it be the drugs? It was never about the drugs. It's always about me not being right with me or me feeling inadequate with myself every single day. Waking up feeling like I'm a piece of crap, that I'm a loser, that I can't do what people expect of me, that I need to be perfect. Me always feeling that way always made me go back out because I was always trying to people please instead of getting real with me. So I go through life, man, and I graduated high school. I started getting high in high school. I started doing a whole bunch of stupid stuff, blah, 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 blah. That shit's irrelevant. I did a lot of stupid stuff. I went to DH. I broke into people's houses. I manipulated people. I sold drugs, man. I beat people up, man. I got suspended from school. In school suspension. All the stupid stuff, man, that happens, man. Shit's irrelevant now. But I did it, and I'm dealing with it. So, 18, I moved to LA with my mom. Because on my 18th birthday, my dad kicked me out. And I move in with my mom, man. And she's like, either you're going to go to school or you're going to get a job. So I finished school. Then she's like, after that, she's like, either you're going to go to military or you're going to go to college. So I went to the military. You know, I smoked weed up until the day that I went to boot camp. Somebody peed for me so I could go to boot camp. My recruiter pissed in a cup for me so that I could go to boot camp. See how I manipulated people into doing what I needed them to do so I could get to where I wanted to go. I didn't even want to go to the military to make me happy. I just did it because my mother wanted me to do something. I'm like, hey, yeah, I love you. He straight peed in a cup for me. It's this thing called the moment of truth when you're in boot camp, and they're like, is there anything that you lied about? If you tell us right now, you can get out clean. I'm like, nope. I'm clean as a whistle, motherfucker. You ain't even know. I just came down. But, dude, it's so sad. So, like, in that stage of my life, I didn't feel like I was an addict. I didn't feel like I had a drug problem. I felt like I was like a recreational drug user. Blah, blah, blah. Like, not knowing, okay, I was living in Vegas for a little bit before I went to the military. We used to go into the 7-Eleven with backpacks, me and the homies, and we used to stuff our backpacks full of alcohol and then run out the store and be out, be getting lifted all night long. But I'm not an addict. I don't have a problem. There's nothing wrong with that. No, everybody does that, right? Right. So, so I'm in the military, and this is another thing, how the disease of addiction was rampant in me without me even knowing that I was an addict. So I'm in the Navy. I graduate boot camp. I go over to my school. They made me a section leader a week into my A school. How they gonna put me in? I just graduated boot camp. How you gonna put me in charge of all these people? See how I felt like because things like that happen. So I felt like the world owed me everything. My sense of entitlement was super strong. Oh, God, that sick me. But anyway, I got in trouble for underage drinking twice. I went UA for 28 days because they wouldn't let me leave. They kept putting me on restriction, restriction, extra duty. Underage drinking, again. Underage drinking, again. Underage drinking, again. So I left for 28 days. One of the chiefs from my school even went to Cleveland to look for me, to bring me back so I didn't get in trouble. This is crazy. Manipulating people and getting them to bend to my will so they can help my cause. Poor Derron. Because I had sucked up to him so much that he loved me so much that he would go on leave to come from Chicago to Ohio to look for me. And I'm in Vegas. I'm talking to y'all and I'm like reliving this shit in my head like, oh my God, I am fucking retarded. Dude, sorry. I'm just crazy, man. Oh my God. Woo. So I was in a relationship with this girl at that time, man, and that's why I left, because I was trying to go propose to her. And she wound up getting pregnant. So we wound up getting an abortion because I got kicked out of the military. They did give me an honorable discharge, and I don't know how. They said because I didn't leave for the whole 30 days and I didn't desert, that they just gave me an honorable discharge. Something was watching my back. I just didn't realize it. Like literally, the HP had me the whole time when I didn't even know. And I wasn't grateful at all. But so she winds up getting pregnant again after we have this abortion, like a couple of months later. And we wind up breaking up while she was pregnant. And I remember her calling me up, talking about I'm having the kid. And I'm in the toilet throwing up from drinking so much that night. And I'm like, I'm coming. All messed up. So our son was born premature. And he was in an incubator and stuff, man. And we wound up getting back together. We moved in with my mom and my grandma. And he was born March 6th. 2003. He passed away in my arms in April 2003. And that changed my whole life. That was a defining moment in my life where, like, if I didn't know I was an addict, or like all those things that I said I wouldn't do because I seen my mom do it or my dad do it, like I wasn't smoking crack, I wasn't doing coke, I wasn't doing anything else, I was just gonna smoke weed and drink, that shit went out the window because I stopped caring about anything and everything. That shook me to my core because I didn't have the coping skills, because I thought, how could God do this to me? How could God do this to me? Do you not know who the fuck I am? How could you do this to me, God? Man, what a sick, distorted way of thinking. Some years go by. I do a whole bunch of stuff, man. I wind up moving back to Ohio from Vegas. And I wound up selling drugs and hanging out, blah, 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 doing a whole bunch of stupid stuff, man. I went to prison for like 18 months. I just don't like talking about this stuff because it's irrelevant. It's just like, I don't live in that shit anymore. But like I did it. And it is noteworthy enough for me to tell you, yes, I went to prison. Yes, I almost took lives. Yes, I lived in the street life. Yes, I did a lot of stupid stuff, man. I met my wife, who is still with me today. Thank you, God. But I don't know how. But it's God. It's the HP. But I met her in 2010, man, and I just was going to Ashtabula, Ohio, to like, I met some chick. It was during the MySpace time. I just met some chick. Like, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna like kick it with this chick for a little bit, and then I'm gonna dip out like I always do, because I could never sit still. I moved from one place to another because I used everybody over there, so I'm gonna go use some people over here, just like the same rut, man, and that same hamster wheel. And I met my wife, man, and like she got pregnant, and I stayed, man, and I drug her through the ringer. So my last relapse, man. So I got introduced to Narcotics Anonymous in 2018. The first NA meeting I walked into is a meeting called Spiritual Foundations. It's on Martin Luther King and Union in Cleveland. This guy named Jack was the first guy that gave me a hug when I walked in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. He was some big dude, man. He was like 6'4" or something like that. Big guy, man. Gave me a hug and he was like, I love you, brother. He was like, welcome to the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous, man. Have a seat. Get a cup of coffee, man. Relax. Let's get in the spirit. And this dude is hugging me and I'm like, the fuck is going on? Why the fuck is this guy touching me like this? Why the fuck do you love me? You don't even know me, bro. It kept me coming back for a time because that guy became my sponsor, my very first sponsor. And I asked him one time, I was like, bro, why you so happy? Like, what's up with your life? You got cancer, bro? And like, yeah, it's in remission, but like, ain't you afraid? Like, what's up? Why you so happy? He like, bro. He was like, this process has changed my life. He was like, I worked some steps. I put some steps on everything. He was like, regardless of anything, I know the HP got me. He was like, whatever's supposed to happen is supposed to happen. I'm right where I'm supposed to be, when I'm supposed to be, how I'm supposed to be. He was like, it'll be okay. One important thing is that don't pick up no matter what. That I rely on the fellowship no matter what. That I believe in the we no matter what. Because what I've learned is that Narcotics Anonymous is about love and unity with those two components, man. And then not picking up no matter what. We well on our way, man. They tell us the three undispensables are honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness, man. And like, I didn't have those at that time. Because I still didn't want to admit that I'm an addict. I loved the love that y'all gave me in the fellowship when I came in here. But I wasn't able to give that back at that time, man. I wasn't even able to see past my own shit because my wife was like, hey, I'm going to leave you. And as soon as she said that, I left that meeting and I went out and got loaded because I could not deal. I'm doing the right thing. Why are you going to leave me? Poor Derron again. I'm back in this spot. Poor Derron again. Why am I here? So I wound up going on a bender for a while, man. And then, you know, it talks about how, like, comparing our addictions to other people's addiction. I had the house. My wife let me come back. So, like, I had the house. I had my kids. Like, you know, there was food in the fridge. My kids had clothes. They had toys, blah, 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 blah. So, like, my addiction isn't that bad. So it did get that bad because I lost the house. I lost the wife. I lost the kids. I lost all self-respect. At the end of my road, I was clutching this basic text in the fucking dope house, begging God to show me a way because I didn't know what to do. But I did know what to do. I remember at the end of the road washing myself with dirty drawers and t-shirts, 4 outfits in a backpack, and a whole bunch of broken electronics. That's how I got. Walking around the street, twacked the fuck out, not knowing what's going on. I remember looking at myself one day getting out the shower at that dope house like, dude, what is really going on? Damn, these drawers smell bad. And I broke down and I was like, God, we got to do something, bro. Notice, I said, we got to do something, bro. I got to surrender to you so we can do this together. Because I don't know what to do without you. If I ain't living in the we, I ain't living. That's something I've learned in this process, man. It's all about the we, man. So it says right here in my favorite chapter, Why Are We Here? Because I love it. Because it goes from talking about how we were dusted, busted, and broke down to nothing. Then we came to a first meeting. We saw help from Narcotics Anonymous. Then we had those 3 disturbing realizations. Those 3 disturbing realizations that shook me to the core. Then it told me the ultimate weapon in recovery is the recovering addict. Then told me I had to change the people, places, and things. My playgrounds, my playmates. Yes, sir. And my playthings, man. And then it was talking about what a beautiful day to be able to feel my emotions, to be able to live through some shit, not just survive some shit, but live through some shit. That's what I tell people today. I ain't surviving nothing today. I'm living through everything because I'm feeling everything that's going on with Derron today. I'm able to love me. And then at the end of the chapter, the very last set, it says, we are set free. Not me. I'm not set free. But we, as a collective, are set free in this process. That's why this is my favorite chapter, because, man, it breaks it down so beautifully for me. Some way that I can understand and relate to the ultimate. Man, I found that I went through a period in my recovery where I got like really upset with people, man, because like in my area, I don't know how it is in a lot of areas, but man, people like to read along with people, man. And like, I don't get upset about that. What I get upset about is that people aren't giving this literature a chance. People just come to the meeting and they just sit there and they're just like, blah, 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 blah. And then they go out and they don't get to understand anything. They don't really get into the meat and potatoes. They just, oh yeah, if you want what we have to offer and are willing to make any effort to get it, then you're ready to take certain steps. These are the principles that made our recovery possible. But have you gotten into a step working guide and seen what the fuck is going on in there? Have you got in there and tried to discover who the fuck you are? How have you tried to better yourself than you were yesterday? And I'm not dogging any, dude, please don't take this as me dogging anybody. What I'm saying, in my basic text, it says, work them and live them. It tells me, I told myself I need and want help. This is what it says and how it works for me. These like little, I put like little lines in there, man. So I know to remind myself that I need it. The living today, the just for today chapter, it says, oh my God, y'all would never believe this, dude. It says, hold on, respect my addiction, embrace my recovery. Because like, I have to respect where I came from, but I need to embrace this recovery in order for me to grow. If I'm not living in this, then I'm going back out there. And I'm not trying to do that, man. All I know is that I need all of this. I need every one of y'all. I know one person in this, two people in this room. And I barely know them. But all I know is that y'all are addicts seeking recovery just like me. That we all trying to get to the same spot. That's another day clean. Together, though. Together. When I started getting out of myself and started getting into the we, it made it easy. And the only way I was able to do that is by working some steps and gaining some acceptance about some shit that I was doing, some shit that I was going through. I was able to talk about some shit that I never talked about because I thought that my secrets was worse than yours. Because I thought I was worse than you. Or I put myself on a fucking pedestal because I thought I was greater than you. Until the HP said, get down. That's enough. You tired? Get up. I'm going to introduce you to some folks that's going to help you. That's going to love you. And I find that in this process, I'm still like that. Like, so I was telling y'all about my father and like how, and the things we went through when I was growing up. Me and that man love each other today, man. He was supposed to be here today, but he was running a little late, man. And like, it's okay because like, yes, I'm still that dude that like wants my dad to love me. I'm 40 years old and I'm still like, Dad, I love you, man. Like I still want my father's approval. But that's because I've gotten it, man, and I love it. And I'm grateful that we came from that place of like hatred towards each other. Or when he looked at me, he seen something that wasn't there, or I made him think something about me. And now we're at a place where we can call each other and talk about recovery and talk about the world and talk about how we love each other and make goals and plans together. Where we work on one accord. We live in the we now. Now that we done cleared up our problems on our spectrum, because he's worked some steps, I'm working some steps, we're able to come together in a beautiful melody. He's like, I'm so sorry, son. He's like, I messed up. I was like, man, we human. We make fucking mistakes, man. I've overslept for a lot of shit, dude. I'm human. I fuck up. It ain't no big a deal. We're not going to sit here and harp about it. I'm not going to be angry. I'm not going to be upset. So my parents still have one of my kids, man. He came back to me. They was going to give him back to me this summer. So he stayed with me the whole summer. So when it came to enrolling him in school, the school told me, hey, you ain't got custody, man. He can't go to our school. Like, he don't. I'm like, oh, shit. Well, I had to sit down and have a hard conversation with my son. Hey, you're going to have to go back to grandma and grandpa for a little bit, buddy. You know, dad's going to go file custody, man, and we're going to make this official. My parents are like, my dad called me because I talked to my mother-in-law. She's like, my stepmom, and she's like, I'm so sorry. She's like, you know, if we had known, I was like, look, this is where we're at. This is something that we have to go through together. There is still some wreckage of the past that I need to clean up in this aspect because I fucked up. Nobody else made me fuck up. Nobody did this but Derron. So there's something that the HP wants me to learn from this. There's something that we have to learn from this. All this is going to do is make us grow. Yes, I have to hurt my son. Man, because that's the only part that's messed up about this is my son is still getting hurt because he is not back with his brothers, his dad, or his mom. That breaks my heart still. But it's okay because we going to live through this. We are going to make it through this. I've learned to institute this whole process of recovery into every aspect of my life. And it's made me grow so much. So I was talking to my stepmom and, you know, she was telling me how she was sorry. And I was just like, dude, it is what it is. So my dad calls me up like 5 minutes later and he's like, bro, he's like, I love the man that you've become. He was like, this is the man that I always thought you could and would be. He was like, whatever you're doing, keep doing it because it's working. He was like, you've turned into something that like is bigger than my wildest dreams. And that isn't him putting me on a fucking pedestal. That's just him saying that the program fucking works, man. This process is so beautiful. Everything about this shit is great to me. I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful. I just drove 3 hours to come here, man. And like, thank you. This is like one of my favorite shirts, man. It says, may the steps be with you, man. I bought one from my sponsor, my new sponsor. And I'm like a big nerd, man. Like I'm into like Star Wars and all that nerdy stuff, man. Like I'm free to be who I am today. That's right. Like for Halloween, man, I'm gonna dress. I don't know. I'm gonna dress up as an anime character. My son's gonna dress up as his son, and we're gonna be on Halloween together, dressed up as father son anime characters. Like, oh my god, like I get to experience some shit like this, man. I get to be a part of the PTA in my son's school. Like, I'm an addict. What the fuck?
You want me to help you do some fundraisers? What? What? You want me to plan some shit with y'all? Okay, I guess so. I guess I'm good at that.
We'll try it. We'll see how it works out.
See, but I'm not afraid to try new things anymore, man. Um,
Oh man. So dang. So I came into this process not knowing. I got clean during COVID. And I remember when I was about to get out of rehab, like my 30 days was coming up. And I'm like, can I stay? I'm like, I need to stay here a little bit longer. I was like, I don't know what to do. The whole time I was in rehab, man, my HP was setting it up, man. He had me doing little things, man, because he put me in there with a purpose. He put a purpose in my head. I remember when I went to detox and they showed me that drug. I asked them to show me the drug test. I don't know why, but I was just like, can I see my drug screen? So I was a tweaker during that time. I was doing meth, man. That was like, because I was like, I would never do heroin again, blah, blah, blah. I would never do fucking pills again, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I had like this much fentanyl in my system, this much heroin, this much speed, ecstasy, everything else. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck you mean? I ain't do no damn fentanyl. I'm like, these motherfuckers is trying to kill me. Bro, you is not about to take my life. Like, why am I willingly gonna give you my fucking money and my life? Are you serious right now? From that day forward, I asked my higher power to guide me. I surrendered and I didn't even know it. And this is in detox. I remember when I graduated, because they let me stay in rehab an extra 15 days. So I get out, and I remember going to the trap house where I had stayed, because I want to show them, like, I look good. Yep, I've been doing okay. I started working out. I got some clean time, man. I'm fucking doing it. Bro, so I get in there. I get in the dope house, and it's just the dude who lives there, the dude's house it is. So I'm talking to him. I'm sitting there chilling, man. I'm like, yeah, bro. Like, man, you should come get some of this, man. Like, it feels good, man. It's awesome, dude, over here, man. Blah, blah, blah. So we're sitting there. Next thing I know, all these dudes that we used to trap with come strolling in the house with their backpacks and everything. They start setting shit on the table, and I'm like, whoo. Dude, I ran out the house dude, I hadn't ran that fast since I was in high school in track, dude. I swear to God, I got out of there so quick, dude. And while I'm running out, man, I'm like, God, if you let me escape this right here with clean, I will not put myself in any kind of compromising position again, willingly. Like, I will never willingly do this again. I made that promise to myself and to my higher power, man, and I have not, to this day, put myself in any kind of compromising position like that again. Fuck them. They can stay over there. I'm going to stay in Narcotics Anonymous. If they see me in the streets, they be like, man, I ain't seen you. I'm in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. You want to see me, you can come there. I don't got nothing to talk to you about, bro. You get the 2-second high, bye. That's it. I do not play with my recovery ever again, because that was the scariest moment of my life. And I've been through a lot of scary shit. But that scared the crap out of me, because I didn't know if I was going to make it out of there clean. I didn't know what it was going to look like. So I was talking to one of my cousins, man, because, like, there's no patriarch in my mom's side of the family anymore, man. Like, my family's, like, really, like, I don't want to say divided, but, like, we're all just separated, man. Like, we're not doing a lot of stuff together like we used to when I was growing up, and, like, it's hard. So I called up one of my little cousins, man. I'm like, bro, why don't you like take over and like do this thing, man? I'm not that dude, man. Like, I can't be the ties that bind us together, man. I'm not ready for that. He's like, bro, don't you ever come at me like that again. He was like, God put you on this earth for a reason. He was like, you bring people together whether you know it or not. He was like, you have a gift, man, and you're afraid of it. And I was like, man, you know what? I do live in fear, man, because I don't know what that dude looked like. He was like, bro, you ain't supposed to know what that motherfucker looked like till you get there. He was like, and I was like, man, you're right, because I know what that dude in active addiction looked like. I know what that dude that like was living in dusted, busted, and on an animalistic level looked like. But I don't know what this new Derron looked like, man. And I was like, that's why I keep coming back to the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. It's funny how I can have a conversation with somebody that isn't even in the room, but the rooms can get tied to that conversation because that's the way that the HP works if you allow him to work in your life. When you are receptive to what this program is teaching you, the HP will talk to you in the weirdest way. They come at you at every which way because I'm receptive. I'm trying to look for his message at every turn because that's all I got. That's all I know. That's all I thrive for. And I'm not perfect in no way, shape, or form because remember, man, I have lustful ways, man. I have eyes, and they wander. They look. Sometimes I get in that fantasy world. Yeah, we get there. I get there. I'd be like, man, ooh, I wonder. She is fuck. Then I got these co-signing ass motherfuckers I work with that's under me. Yeah, bro, she's fine. You should talk to her. No, get the fuck away from me. Stop it. Look, but don't touch. Like, man, so God has awarded me a lot of things today because today in my life, not only am I a father, not only do I do a lot of things in my community, I was on probation for domestic violence, man. I got off in December of September of last year, and funny how the HP works because like I got asked to facilitate a class about domestic violence awareness, so I do that 2 days a week, man, in my community, and I really love it, man, that I can share my strength, hope, and inspiration with these guys, man, and show them. But it is only through Narcotics Anonymous that any of this is possible. Okay, sorry, I'm so sorry. Dang, and I said I wasn't long-winded and I wasn't going to talk that long, but I guess the HP had different plans, huh? I mean, look, this is how it happens. And I'm a trusted supervisor today at my job. Like, I work for an international quality inspection company. Like, and I remember starting there, and then I was a temp that got fired, that got brought back, and now I'm the head project supervisor on that project. And I'll just think about like how the HP has always been working in my life, and like I'm finally on the path that he wants for me. And it's only because of this process, because of the steps that I've worked, because of the service I do in Narcotics Anonymous. I'm a secretary of 2 meetings, in my area. I'm a fill-in treasurer right now, and I do anything and everything Narcotics Anonymous asks me to do, i.e. example, I'm here. I don't really like to talk about it, but I'm on a podcast where we talk about the traditions, and that has been so instrumental, man. I dislike it. I live in the mecca of another fellowship, like where they started. Like that's the state they started in, and like it is like big in my area. And like people talk about how there's no recovery in Narcotics Anonymous, and I get to just laugh back and say, "You right." But we keep doing what we do. See, because it's not about the promotion; it's about the attraction. As long as we keep showing up and doing what we're doing, we continue to grow. We're a worldwide fellowship of love, unity, respect. We thrive together. We come together. We love together. We grow so big together. The arms that we have together, man, when we link together, when we get together in that circle, when we say that serenity prayer, the spirit is what happens in our meetings. The love is what we take out into the world. The unity is what binds us together. It is only through understanding and application that this works. My name is Derron, and I'm an addict, and with that, I pass.